Larry King now.
Welcome to the Q&A segment. First of all, rest in peace to my man Larry. We're doing this question and answers because of him. Very cool interviewer. So we're going to pour some coffee out for him. I'm not going to do that. It's a white desk. But I answer quite a lot of questions on Instagram via the Q&A, but I also miss a lot. So this is a vlog featuring 2 cameras. We're basically just going to go through all the questions that I tend to miss, things that I can't necessarily answer within 15 seconds. Now, the only rule we're going to have with this Q&A is I'm going to ask a question, and I'm basically going to have 30 seconds to answer it. So I'm going to have the 30-second timer on, and then answer them. So, first question of the day, and we're gonna get straight into it. So, straight sets versus back off sets, which one is better? I take it this is for hypertrophy, since I normally speak about hypertrophy a lot. So 30 seconds are they've started. Okay, so I tend to say that straight sets are more ideal for the masses, and they have kind of a good SFR. So each time you do a set, you're kind of in the groove. If you're in like a 10 to 20 rep range, you're kind of in the groove for like 2 sets, 3 sets, 4 sets, etc. So the SFR increases there. I'm only going to speak about down sets here. I tend to only program down sets in a fat loss phase when we tend to drop off sets. So I can't really answer which one's better, but I would tend to say that I would lean more towards straight sets are probably ideal for the masses. And I think the actual use of back off sets are not... It's not ideal, right? I would tend to lean towards something like down set. Okay, next question. 2 mesocycles each, both specializing specific muscle groups, versus 4 mesos training. Oh, okay. So any difference? Okay, so 30 seconds starts now. Okay, so 2 mesocycles would grow the specific muscle groups, probably wouldn't grow the other muscle groups, right? It is a very advanced technique, so if you are advanced, yeah, cool, do it. However, you could probably address weak areas in another way. That tends to be why we have specialization blocks. So I would say that actually 4 of training all would actually grow that muscle group a little bit more, and it's probably more applicable for the masses. Easy, innit? Nah. Hello, Natalie. We have a question for you. We're gonna move the timer up to 1 minute because obviously there's 2 people now present in the room. Actually, there's 3 if you count Mr. Cause guy. Okay, so the key to a successful relationship. So we're gonna do a minute. Are you ready? Yeah. You ready to answer this? Go.
Key to a successful relationship is communication. And memories.
Communication, fun, and memories. Wow. How the hell am I going to beat that?
No, you're not.
You got like 49 seconds, you just nailed it. What was it? Communication, fun, and memories.
Yeah. Lacking in them right now.
I think one thing that I've been taught in this kind of coronavirus situation, I think I really miss like meals out. And I think I took them for granted, but I honestly think that like meals out by yourself are keys as well.
Date night.
Yeah, like date nights, yeah. Yeah, and I really miss that. We got 23 seconds. You better say something else. Very
I want to go on holiday.
holiday. Yeah, but you said that. That's fun. I think you nailed it. To be fair, you nailed it within the first 15 seconds.
So you can just.
Just gonna sip my coffee for the next 9 seconds. And yeah, and more sex. And there we go. Okay. So is low volume, high intensity considered evidence based? 30 seconds on. Low volume, high intensity is considered evidence-based, mainly because anecdotal evidence is evidence. This is the thing that evidence-based practitioners, they all have their kind of heads in a study or something, but they tend to neglect the fact that an evidence-based practitioner is taking all evidence and combining it together. That means anecdotal evidence. So in a nutshell, yes, it's evidence-based. Look at that. Easy, innit? Stop. Okay, so next question. Do you think getting as heavy or as high above stage weight in your off-season was productive? This is interesting, because I might actually move this up to a minute, because let's move it up to 45 seconds. Okay. Go. Right. The thing is with people, we tend to be very, very comfortable at this kind of set body fat percentage. There is a lot of value in pushing body fat up just to see where performance is. Because if you're consistently lean, you're not going to know where your golden zone is. Now, it could be like in the kind of 10-15% mark, but it could be also in the kind of like the 20% mark, but you never actually know that because you've never actually experienced that. So, and when I pushed body fat up, I don't think I was there yet. I think I had more to go. It just so happened that I wanted to compete this year. But yeah, I don't regret it at all. So it was productive. That was an interesting one, actually. I'm going to move it down to 30 seconds, but that was an interesting one. Because I do think people have this really big perception, especially with social content, right? Like I pretty much built my business like in the last 2 or 3 years in an off season, which is quite interesting because people would build a business when you're kind of reasonably lean. I actually started my business when I was out of kind of a cutting stage into an off season. So yeah, I found that one interesting. But I honestly think it's very, very productive. And again, I'm probably going to push further this off season. Okay, next question. What's your take on set progressions throughout the mesocycle? We're going to go back to 30 seconds. So, have a sip. Jamaican Blue Mountain. Incredible. Okay, so what was the question? What's your take on set progressions throughout the mesocycle? Interesting. Okay, and go. So, I honestly think this is person dependent, and you'll hear me say this a lot. I honestly think that some people adding a set every single week is just not a kind of viable option. Let's just say, for example, you squat 500 pounds for 10 reps. Adding another set of that is just it's just going to be it's just going to beat you up, right? So I do think it's very much applicable with kind of beginners, intermediates, maybe early advanced, but I think that if you are quite advanced, it's probably not the best option. So I kind of answered that. What's your take on set progressions, right? And I didn't really answer it in the fact that I think people need to realize that adding sets for me is kind of a tick sheet, right? We only add sets if you have a pump. We don't add sets if you've got a pump. We don't add sets if you have muscle disruption and all of these kind of different check sheets. If you have all of them, we're just going to continue you on. If we have good performance in the gym, we're just going to continue on the same path. We're not going to add any unnecessary sets. And I think that's where most people go wrong. I think people are just very, very sporadic with set volumes. I think people are just going to be like, oh, okay, I've done 3 sets. I'm just going to do a 4th next week. It's just... No, listen to your body, listen to the biofeedback you're getting, listen to, are you fatigued, etc. That's where you're going to make the most out of this, right? That's how you're going to get big and strong. So, next question, 30 seconds back on the timer. What is training hard to Rayner trainer? So, training hard is, in essence, causing a stressor and causing a new adaptation for the next week, right? Now that often is training with set volumes between 10 and 20, and that's often training with an RER of 4 to 0. However, we do have some studies suggesting that you could probably grow muscle outside of that, like as in 5+. But that to me is training hard, and you just have to make things harder over and over again. It's really hard seeing that timer run down. But I also am really questioning how I answer things within 15 seconds on Instagram. Anyway, so next question. I think this happens in every single Q&A, but I don't answer them very often. Is would you ever take steroids? You have great genetics. In essence, hell no. A few reasons. Number one, I don't have good genetics. So if I don't have, or if someone doesn't have good genetics, I would highly advise them not to do this, right? Not to inject. Number two, I'm shit scared of needles. Yeah, I hate them with a passion. So hell no. This is the last question. So, how would you work around injuries? I have one in my erectors and one in my front delt. Okay, interesting. 30 seconds. So, work around injuries is cool. However, you have to take into consideration, is this kind of prolonging my injury? If it's not, then you could do things like taking the erector out of play, so not doing things like RDLs, doing things like sliding curls, etc., etc. Also, with kind of the front delt, we're kind of looking into things like floor presses instead of bench press, etc., etc. So yeah, but answer the first question before you start going on to the second. And that's it. That's done. Q&A wrapped up. I hope that answered some of your questions. If you have any more questions, do not hesitate to either drop a comment down below or just answer or ask me on Instagram. I'm active on Instagram at Rayner Trainer. So yeah, if you have any questions or any more burning questions, let me know. I'm probably going to do one of these like every couple of months. It's pretty cool to have this. And again, thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you in the next vlog. Again, rest in peace to my man Larry.